Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar joins me. Nice to talk to you, sir. And tell me, in the last 10 years, or actually 20 years, has Israel had any conversations directly with your counterpart in Iran?
With the Iranians? No,
yeah. Any at all?
It's a state that swore to eliminate the state of Israel and acted consistently to achieve that. This is one of the reasons, not the only one, but why they wanted so desperately nuclear weapons, but also they tried to eliminate us by surrounding us with terror proxies like Hezbollah or Hamas or the Houthis, which they financed during the years. So this regime is probably not with good intentions towards us, but neither to the United States. You can see today that they are attacking deliberately all United States allies in the region, including countries which are not friendly with Israel, but are friends of the United States, like Qatar and others.
The reason I asked you that, sir, in part was because there is some criticism here in the United States about not pursuing diplomacy here between the United States and Iran. And actually, I mean, if you look back, is that Steve Witkoff has made 7 or 8 attempts speaking with the Iranians just in the second administration. And then going back to the first Trump administration, there was attempts. But Iran has never been there's never been any indication of a willingness to even sit down and talk. It's been a very, unwilling to do that. Hence, I guess, how we ended up today. Tell me, in terms of... Go ahead, sir.
I think that the U.S. tried diplomacy, but Iran even didn't came closer to the demands that the U.S. had put on the table, not in the context of nuclear program, and about ballistic missiles or terror proxies, they were not ready even to talk. So eventually, the president, as much as our prime minister, President Trump, had to decide whether to act or not. And here is, I think, greatness of leadership, because think back to the 90s, to the mid-90s, when President Clinton threatened North Korea not to develop nuclear weapons. But eventually, in the historic moment, he didn't act. And therefore, today, North Korea has nuclear weapons. And this affects badly the neighbors and the allies of the United States, like South Korea and Japan. So now was the moment when we understood they are going to take their nuclear program to a very deep underground installation, which it will be immune there. And that moment would put them in a de facto immunity from airstrikes. So that was a moment that a decision must be taken in order to act. And that happened.
I think what's a little different about North Korea and Iran, though, is that I mean, Iran has made North Korea is just sort of sitting there with its nuclear weapon. Iran has been funding terrorists for decades to kill Israelis. Iran chants death to Israel, death to America. I mean, it hasn't just said that it wants to sit there with a nuclear weapon for defensive reasons. They have been on the attack forever. I mean, their track record is poor in terms of just wanting one for medical reasons or for peaceful reasons or even for national security reasons.
So I agree with you. So with this kind of mad state, which we see today attacking more than 10 different states, neighboring states, we couldn't take any more risks because we knew what is their objective, and we knew that with nuclear, imagine how they will act if they were today with nuclear umbrella, if they're simply attacking now without nuclear umbrella all the neighbor states. It's very dangerous, and therefore the US had tried diplomacy before June 25 and before this attack. But eventually, when you realize that diplomacy doesn't work, you need to decide whether to act. Not acting right now was much more dangerous than acting.
There's another sort of criticism floating around a minority here in the United States, and I hate even to ask you this because I know how I would answer it, but does Israel have any ambitions in expanding its territory into Iran at all?
It is ridiculous because Iran is 1,500 kilometers from us. They don't share border with us. We have Jordan and Iraq, quite big countries, between us and Iran. We never had a border with Iran, and we don't have any such intention, which is simply impossible. So anyone who is saying that never looked at the map.
Indeed. Thank you, Minister Gideon Saar. Thank you, sir, and good luck, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.